South Carolina's Dylan Stewart really burst onto the scene last year as a true freshman. He's been having a pretty good sophomore campaign as well. Everybody's talking about the 2027 wide receivers. I think the edge rushing class is going to be pretty good too, headlined by Dylan Stewart. But Colin Simmons from Texas is also having a really good sophomore season after having a good freshman season as well. But we're going to talk about Dylan Stewart, and what I really like about him a bit more than Colin Simmons, who I think is the other name that's going to be in the conversation for first overall pick in 2027. I really like the length that Dylan Stewart has, 6'5". We'll talk about that later. But this first play, we're going to see him on a pass rush move on the guard here. And I think they end up sending the nickel or a safety or a linebacker off the edge, and we'll see Dylan Stewart on the inside on this one. And he got there so fast. I actually think that Texas A&M, the right guard, 54, got away with the hold here. But, I mean, he still forces the issue. He still forces Marcel Reed to get the ball out. This is actually a pretty good throw by Reed, and this goes for a big gain to Concepcion. But, I mean, I really do think that he got held on this play. But we'll talk about him getting that sack in a little bit. Right now, look how fast he is into the backfield. So this is a pretty simple RPO here. And, you know, it makes sense to try to option off the best player on the defense because you're thinking, oh, we'll just go where Dylan Stewart isn't. You know, that's a pretty good plan. The problem is Dylan Stewart's all over the field. How fast he gets into the backfield, it's kind of hard to do that, and we'll see that on this. So you can't really leave this dude unblocked because of how fast he is. And, you know, they're trying to read off of him. If this was normal inside zone to the offensive left here, they would have this tight end kick him out here. You know, that's a pretty good plan, I think. But, you know, they're trying to do an RPO where they're trying to get this off to the tight end into the flat. And Dylan Stewart's just in the backfield so fast. I mean, at this point, Reed's just got to take the sack, but tries to get the ball out. And this goes for a fumble. You can see he threw it behind him. This goes for a South Carolina touchdown, and Dylan Stewart forced that issue here. You know, these are the type of plays that get guys drafted first overall, you know. Really self-explanatory on that one, how good of a play that was. But we'll see right here. Now, this is what's really interesting to me on this play about Dylan Stewart is he's such a powerful football player, and that usually shows up with these pass rushers when they have a really good head start. We'll see that in a little bit, but we talk a lot about the speed to power. This is power to power here. He doesn't get a great head start on this tackle on this one, and he still walks this dude into the backfield. He is such a strong football player. I mean, you can see he didn't really get a head start on this one. When he does get a head start, it's going to mean a lot of bad things for the right tackle. And I actually think this Texas A&M right tackle played a pretty good game, especially in the second half. But right here, he got a little bit more of a head start, and you can just kind of see him jerk this dude into the backfield. This is a pretty good play by Stewart here. Reed gets this ball out really fast. But on this next play, they're trying to pass the ball a bit more downfield. And just watch Dylan Stewart's head start and then the speed to power. You know, that's the stuff we're talking about. When you get a head start, we see how powerful of a football player Dylan Stewart is without that head start. When you give him a yard or two to pick up any kind of speed here, that's when he starts playing some of his best football. And this right tackle, man, I had to do my digging because I actually thought he played a good game. Like I said, this is a 6'7", 340-pound right tackle. You know, this is a lot of Aggie. This is a lot of Texas A&M that Dylan Stewart's walking into the backfield. So, you know, speed to power here completely reduces this pocket. Marcel Reed's uncomfortable. He has to step up, make a play, get the ball out a lot faster than he wants to, and this goes for an interception for South Carolina. We'll watch this one more time because, you know, I know this wasn't the sack fumble that everybody was talking about on social media, but to me, this is the kind of plays that are going to get Dylan Stewart in that first overall conversation when he is draft eligible. Let's watch it one more time, just how strong of a football player he is. And, yeah, we'll not talk about the second half. You know, I think for South Carolina fans, it's probably the best way to go about it. But Dylan Stewart's a really exciting football player. Really excited to watch him throughout the rest of this season. Obviously, things haven't gone as well for South Carolina in 2025 as you expected. But even next season, you know, 2026, Dylan Stewart's such a good football player. He's still very young. You guys let me know what you think about him. Thanks for watching.